Welcome to this week's episode of the Ballinesian Podcast here on the Polytickin Network. Thank you for tapping in, supporting, following, subscribing to the Patreon, to the YouTube channel, to the audio streams, to the Instagram. Thanks for hanging out with us. Ballinesian Podcast. Someone's talking about sports. Me and Forrest, Charger and Raider fan, going to be breaking down what we think our teams are going to be doing in the NFL draft. That is this week. We are at draft week. Night one is Thursday for the first round. It's in Green Bay. It's in Wisconsin. You're not going, but your team's representatives are, and we're going to be talking a little bit more about what we think is going to happen. We're also going to talk about WrestleMania reactions. I don't know. Did you watch WrestleMania?
I watched the highlights.
You watched the highlights? I stayed home both days. Watched watched the entire thing, both nights.
I know some of the people that they took their kids to WrestleMania, like people that I'm friends with from Samoa.
Nice.
I was like, oh, that's sick to be there, in person. That's dope.
Chelsea Gray was there. They showed her on TV.
Yeah.
A bunch of that thing is like a whole 2-day Super Bowl. They be shouting out all the celebs and stuff. Anyways, a lot of big stuff. Easter this weekend, WrestleMania, freaking all the stuff is still happening. Getting ready for the NFL draft though is what this episode is going to be centered about. We got to start with your team. You guys are picking a lot earlier than we are. No. The Raiders picking number 6 overall. Little tidbit, little legacy nugget. The last time the Raiders picked 6th, was that the only time they picked 6th? Either way, they drafted a pretty good guy, wide receiver Tim Brown, with the 6th overall pick in 1988. Went on to be a pretty good player for the Raiders.
Tim Brown, Hall of Famer.
How confident are you that you guys are picking a legendary cornerstone piece with the number 6 pick?
Well, Lance, judging from, I'm pretty confident. There's a lot of good guys that you can still get at 6. Just thinking about the guys who will go before that pick, like Cam's not going to be there. Travis,
Miami.
And before I say all of this, it could be other teams just throwing smoke out there, so you don't go after the actual guy that they go for. But I do think Cam and Travis are going to be 1 or 2 either way. And then I think Abdul Carter goes 3rd. So that's 3 people off the board. Now we just got to wait for 2 more picks, and I'm pretty confident. If Shador lasts till 6, I expect a trade. I expect the Raiders to trade back.
For somebody that wants Shador there?
Yeah. So you got 2 teams who I think are most likely to probably try to trade up, which is right now in their current situation, not knowing whether or not Derek Carr is going to be there for the season. New Orleans, I think they're a big candidate to try and trade up and possibly draft Shador. And then Pittsburgh, because they're still in limbo as well. Haven't heard anything lately on Aaron Rodgers, and you're only start. Well, I mean, I make it sound like he's like really bad. He's not the greatest, but he's not that bad. They do have Mason Rudolph on the roster, but not
Aaron
the guy
Rodgers,
you want to roll.
We heard about Aaron Rodgers this week. Aaron Rodgers went on the Pat McAfee show, was talking about his abrupt meeting with the Jets. Like he said he flew over on his own dime, had what he expected to be a 2-hour meeting. It was only like 20 minutes, where the new Jets coach, Aaron Glenn, asked him, hey, are you interested in still playing football? And Aaron Rodgers said yes. And then the coach responded, well, we're going in a different direction without you. Okay, we got freaking Justin Fields we just signed. And then another report came out from like one of the journalists. He was like, Aaron Rodgers is lying. Aaron Rodgers, like, told the Jets that he'd be in town, so they told him to come in for a meeting. And then I don't know. I guess he spiced it up a little bit for his
But
match.
see, I didn't want to talk about that just because that's all the antics that he's doing right now. Like even last year when all he needs to take his off season and go get better, then he went into a cave and did some drugs and tried to pass it off as
Talking to Straight Trade,
right. Try to pass it off as him like, for health reasons. It's the guy wants to spend the summer doing summer stuff. That's why he's doing this. And then towards the season, again, he's gonna be, oh, you know what? Maybe I will sign with Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh's gonna have to wait till like almost close to the beginning of the season.
that's another part of what he said in his interview is he's in no rush to announce,
Yep.
right? And
Yep.
people have been talking about, oh, it's probably likely because what happened to Kirk Cousins last year was that he signed with the Falcons before the draft, and then they ended up drafting freaking
Michael
Penix, and that threw everything off. Like, oh, you just brought in a quarterback. I just signed with you for a 3-year deal, whatever. So maybe Aaron Rodgers wants to look around and make sure, whoever drafts. But
right.
whatever happens with him. But you're saying Pittsburgh and the Saints, who need a quarterback, might trade up to number 6. That would be would that be like your preferred action for the Raiders at 6, or would you take him?
No, I mean if you're at 6, you're in a good position to get somebody pretty good. Like at 6 is that's a good place to be at if you don't need and they don't need a generational quarterback at the moment because they do have a pretty good starter right now with Geno. So
but when you were talking about like the guys that are probably going to go before the Raiders choose at 6, Cam Ward, quarterback, probably going to go first overall. You mentioned Travis Hunter. Plays both sides of the ball, cornerback and wide receiver, and then Penn State's Abdul Carter. The other 2 that round out the top 5 are generally Mason Graham, a defensive tackle out of Michigan, and then LSU offensive tackle Will Campbell. Another name. So if those guys go top 5, right, which they're usually mocked, projected, the top 5 players to go. There's the popular running back option, Ashton Genty, which would fill a need. But is there anybody, after those top 5 that you would be like happy with the Raiders taking?
You can never go wrong with some guy that really looks good at corner. Will Johnson. I wouldn't mind grabbing Will Johnson. Malachi Starks, he's a safety from Georgia. I think he's good enough to be picked at 6. Who else? There's a couple of defensive ends. I don't know if they're maybe 6 pick worthy or the money yet, but on the back end, like Pace out of Tennessee. But I would avoid doing and drafting anything from Tennessee anymore ever again.
Yeah. Is there a certain position that you would be happy the Raiders taking?
Man, you know what? If they can cover O-line, maybe a defensive tackle. There are no linebackers, I think, at 6 right now that you would take at 6. And then corner, of course, because they just let Jack Johnson walk. They released him, and then they have a couple of guys that they drafted last year in Richardson and one other guy that they drafted last year that they were pretty high on. They're sticking around with the team, and then they have Jacory Bennett, who's been pretty good. I mean, this is going to be his 3rd year, so make or break year actually for him. So corner would be a great position right now. And at 6, Will Johnson's probably, I think, the top cornerback to be taken right now.
Okay. Of those 5 that we said would go, to the top, Cam Ward's probably gone, right? Number 1 is going to be the best
for
quarterback
sure.
taken.
I think.
All right. Any of those guys slide out of the top 5, which would you most be happy with? That offensive tackle, the defensive lineman, Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter for sure. Because then they can play him at wide receiver and corner. Mm-hmm. And 2 needs that the Raiders are actually rumored to be looking at is corner and wide receiver. So, I mean, you get the best of both worlds with one guy, And we've
I'm
done it
so
before. They've
worried
had
about him.
playing both. Of course they're gonna. Yeah, you make NIL money in college, but now it's gonna be some real money, and he's gonna be tied to like real money. So there's no way that a team is gonna have him play both ways, like at the rate he was playing in college. They'll let him play both ways, but I mean, he literally played almost every snap on both sides of the ball in college.
Maybe just like a couple of gadget plays, right? And then all the third downs.
That's a whole nother conversation because yeah, I mean, you'd have to figure out which side of the ball he actually wants to play on, and then that's going to get the majority of the snaps, and then he'd be a good right.
Every single third down, offense and defense, you got to be out there.
Hey,
But then it's
yeah,
like,
hell yeah.
how are you going to balance that, the number of reps, right? Because if you're an offensive player, you playing 60 snaps a game. You're a defensive player, you're playing 60 snaps. Is he going to play both full offense and defense? Is it going to be certain? You cut down, you only play half the offense, half the defense. That way you get your 30 and 30 for 60 snaps, whatever.
I
It's
mean,
going to be
if
very
you really want to
interesting
get
to
that
see.
technical, you just making your nickel back. That way he's not there on every down. You know, you
And
make him your nickel back, and
your slot
yep,
receiver. So
yeah,
now he's like the third wide receiver if it goes into the three wide receiver,
yeah,
three or four wide receiver sets. Yeah, something like that where it's just like, and those are like money downs. Those are pressure
yeah.
situations where you can keep the drive going. You can shut the drive down if you're on defense. So having your best player out there, if he is effective like that, could be worth
On
a
a
lot.
critical down.
It's,
Yeah, on the
yeah,
most critical down. So
if he's not getting hurt. You said
yeah,
the Raiders have done that before, offense and defense.
Charles Woodson, coming out of Michigan, they drafted him, and he played. He returned kicks. He had some plays called for him on the offense, mainly on defense. Uh, Hall of Fame, Charles Woodson. Sorry, folks.
Nice.
Hall of Fame, Charles Woodson. Um, so wouldn't be the first time that the Raiders had a guy play both sides, well, play everything because he was a returner too. So interesting to see if I wanted the Raiders to stretch for someone, or like just like a really big reach. I like Jihad Campbell, the linebacker out of Alabama. I think he's going to be a good one. Raiders
The
also need someone
linebacker.
at linebacker. Yeah,
Hopefully you can trade down, get some, draft stock, some capital, and then
for
also
sure.
get your guy later. Because linebacker isn't usually one
It's
of those
not.
top.
It's yeah, and I mean, unless you're actually watching college football and paying attention to a lot of these guys who do their due diligence, who watch all the tape that you can just watch there. Yeah, Jihad, he was on it. I think he probably the number one linebacker besides the linebacker coming out of UCLA, who's a little
What
on the smaller side. But Jihad Campbell is probably the number one linebacker in the draft, I think.
what is a NFL comparison for Campbell, like as far as size and play style that we could kind of compare him to?
Any of the linebackers that came out of Alabama these past 2 years? Um, what's his name that plays out at for the Texans? Not the defensive end they just drafted, but
Will Anderson.
well, so he can do that too. But they do have a linebacker playing outside for them from Alabama who was also highly touted coming out of college.
Oh,
It's hard. I mean, there's not too many linebackers out there right now, like besides like Fred Warner. You know what I mean? You talk about linebackers, I think in the NFL today, that's the one guy you're gonna be like, Fred Warner. I think he's like the most
think of him as
recognizable.
small
So
though.
Warner?
Yeah,
Yeah, which is probably why he can get to sidelines so well. You know what I mean? Like he's at every play.
monster.
Yeah.
Uh, all right. Just well, I got one more thing for the Raiders. Like you as a Raider fan, and I really want to get like the real vulnerable, uh, like look inside of Raider Nation and where this team is right now, and give me like how important this draft is. Is it that big of a deal? Right. I mean, I know it's like the first one with John Spytek, Pete Carroll, Tom Brady's in the house now. But like just what the Raiders have gone through, Derek Carr, you know, everything that the last 5, 10 years. where are you at right now mentally? Are you confident? Are you feeling promising? Are you like worried that things could go sideways with the old coach, random
Nah,
owner? Like what are you feeling right now for the
no,
Raiders
I'm pretty
as
confident. I'm pretty confident. Everything that they're doing right now, all the small moves that they've made, like we talked about before, I believe are either uh equivalent to what they lost or a little bit better. So those moves are pretty cool. Um, the draft is pretty important because signing Gino is a sign that they want to win now. Because they weren't waiting for like they could have probably put a package together and moved up in the draft and drafted a quarterback then because that's what they really need to move forward. That's a lot of teams. A lot of teams want to get their
yeah.
generational quarterback first. You know, their franchise quarterback. They could have done that this year. They could have. I heard that they had some capital that could have gotten them the 1 or 2 pick, which would put them in position to draft either uh, Cam Ward or Shadir Sanders, who are 1 and 2. Uh, and then they went out and got Gino, so it wasn't that important. I'm pretty sure they're still trying to get someone in there to maybe take over for Gino within the next 3 to 4 years, or as his contract's going to allow him to play, and maybe an extension, depending on how he does. But it's important because they've got Gino, they re-signed Max. Um, the energy inside the clubhouse right now is pretty high with the players and coaches like trusting each other. And I know you'll hear a lot about that like every season with someone that comes in like um, brings in new energy. Because you heard the same thing about Antonio Pierce last year when his first year coaching. You know the energy's different. You know they'd run through walls. I'm sure they would run through walls for him, but um, I think now like with the GM situation Spytek is coming and he's done some really good moves. I know the GM from last year probably didn't get enough time to maybe put his team together, which is tough. Yeah, I don't even know if he had a whole season. Um, but yeah, I think Spytek, what he's done so far has sparked a lot of um, enthusiasm into a lot of the Raiders fans, and just hearing the way players right now are describing Pete Carroll and being around him uh, sparks a lot more promise. So, yeah, very hopeful, very confident in the positions that they're in right now and then moving forward. And again, to answer your question, yeah, the Josh is pretty important because it's gonna they're in a position to get someone who can contribute right away at 6. So that's gonna be pretty important because there's some positions that would be great for them to have someone who contribute right away. Like I said, cornerbacks one. The lines are a little shaky, so if they can pick up interior or uh, I don't know. Yeah, I think Colton Miller. I think DJ Glaze is going to be taking over at either the right or left tackle soon. So depending on how healthy, um, what's his name? Depending on how healthy Colton Miller stays, I think offensive tackle would be big to look at as well. A guy like Will Campbell or a couple of the other tackles that are available in the draft this year. So we'll see. We'll
It's
see.
like the earlier you are in the draft, the more you have to think about it. Right. Some I mean,
Definitely.
if you're at the number one pick and there's an obvious number one, maybe you don't have to think about that. But there's so many options available to you
Right.
that all of these sliding doors, if we take this guy slides, we take this position, these guys go. Um, and the way the draft kind of like falls as these decisions are made live is very interesting. Um,
There's a lot of stuff going on like behind the scenes too that
right,
we're not really privy to, like
sure.
all the smoke that people create because maybe they want to draft
Oh,
somebody or
so much
you know,
smoke.
right, trying to get somebody not to maybe other teams to back off a player that they want to draft later. A lot of these agents pay people to go out there and put out stories about their guys. Um, you've seen, I don't know if it was somebody's camp or maybe just some random guy that wants his favorite player to go out. But you seen Tetairo McMillan, the video they posted about him, it's supposed to be from like years ago, and all of a sudden they're talking about him dropping. And then if you get
Yeah,
one person talking about Shadir's lack of awareness in the pocket, how he holds on to the ball too long, or you got people talking about how all of these guys are unnamed sources, are supposedly coaches that were in interviews saying he was like the worst formal interview there was. He's entitled. I don't know. And then you have other people who are actually people that have been around him and say the exact opposite. So it's crazy just to see everything that'll let guys rise and fall in the draft, their draft order. So, man, good luck to these guys within the next couple of days because anything can happen to their draft stock right now.
Yeah, that's why it becomes such like a game, and you have these like coaches, like PR coaches, not
Yeah,
football coaches. You have
yeah.
like, yeah. So I mean, we're gonna see who. Wait, we know who you would do. We know what positions you would aim for, target, pick at number 6. As someone who's been a Raider fan forever, what are the Raiders gonna do at number 6 this week?
I I couldn't tell you. It's different now. Spytech, he's this is his first year being an actual GM. And it's a relationship with Pete Carroll where they're pretty tightly niched together right now with how they're doing the draft. Like they're really working together, taking each other's input into consideration. It's not just like in some other organizations where the coach has more to say or the GM wants more power. I think right now they're both just trying to work together to grab somebody that's going to work with. I think Spytech really wants to grab guys that are going to work within um, uh, Coach Carroll's his philosophy, his offense and defense. I
Who's it
think he
gonna
just
be?
want. I really think it's going to be. I think Will Johnson is there at the corner spot. I don't think they're going to take Genty, not because he's not a generational talent, but I think guys like Omarion Hampton from North Carolina. I don't think he's as far back as a lot of people
Oh, from
think he
Genty.
is at running back
Yeah,
out of North Carolina.
yeah.
Yeah. And then you have
You could
him.
just
You have the
have
two
him
guys
in
from
the
Ohio
second
State.
round instead.
Right. And it won't be again. Genty is like phenomenal, generational talent. Not saying he's not, but I think you can live. I don't
Yeah,
think you're gonna be like, yeah, like oh my gosh, we did the worst thing by not drafting him. I don't think that's gonna happen. I think you can get really good projecting out of at least four of those running backs that can be drafted in the second or third round. So
instead of using the 6 overall.
yeah,
We know that the last time Pete Carroll was involved in a draft, the Seattle Seahawks took Tariq Woolen. They took the next year they took
Kobe.
another uh DB at like the 6th pick
Yeah,
recently after that. So yeah, he likes defensive backs for his defensive
yeah.
system. And also you can get running backs later.
You
So
can, and not just again. I think Genty does deserve to go anywhere from like 4 to 20. There's going to be a lot of teams hiring him anyway. If that's the case, I think Chicago may want to move forward at 10. They might want to get over to 6 because they're really high on Genty.
mhm.
So that could happen. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope the Raiders trade back. They have like that, that somebody wants to trade up because somebody slides, and then they build
Man,
up.
they did,
That'd be
but
good.
uh, after getting, I always love best player available, especially after last year when Telesco was able to pick up Brock Bowers, best player available. That was an amazing pick. And I know you can't get that type of pick every time you go to the draft, but I still believe in best player available. So yeah,
So you're gonna pick a like an offensive lineman or something.
I wouldn't mind the big dude from LSU.
Uh, Also, when you're picking earlier, there's fewer people in front of you to throw your plan off, right?
That's
So the
accurate.
Raiders are definitely going to get one of their top 6 guys, right? Even if everybody else
On their
takes
board. Yeah,
the
on
rest of
their
the guys
board.
ahead of them, they're at least going to have that guy to pick up. The Chargers are a little further back. They're at 22, so I feel like it definitely is going to be best player available, and I feel confident that
But
they're
good
going
thing
to
at
pick a
yeah,
dog. They're going to
at
pick.
22, the draft it's not like a top heavy like there's like 8 or 9, 10 players who are going to be like Hall of Famers. Like you can't see that right away. But definitely the draft I think is deep, going all the way back to like to the mid part of the second round. I think you can still get like first round guys all the way down. Um, and I think they're going to be contributors early. So I know you've expressed like wide receivers. There's some pretty good wide receivers in the draft. The wide receiver room right now looks pretty good. Again, starting off with the title McMillan, Golden from Texas, Burden from Missouri. You got the guy from San Jose State who led the nation in I think yards was it or receptions. They're talking about him like a third round pick, you know. But if you get a guy like that, Nick, I'm sorry, I forgot his last name, but you get a guy like that, you know, that's great. And he's not even talked about to be like in the first round yet. So I think you guys are sitting pretty well there. There's some interior offensive linemen that you guys can pick up in that part of the draft. That big kid from Arizona, John Sabatinaya, he plays tackle at Arizona, but I think you can move him inside. He'd be great inside. He should super athletic. Runs a 4.8 in the 40.
He's gonna be a beast. Yeah, Chargers at number 22. Should have forgot what I was gonna say.
I think you wanted to say that you wanted them to draft Jackson Dart.
I think some of the consensus needs I saw people putting for the Chargers is wide receiver,
Mm,
definitely interior offensive line, definitely defensive line, and some safety. Uh, my personal thought is that first step should be defensive tackle, uh, sealing up that defensive line because it always seems like it's easy to run on the Chargers. And then offensively, you definitely have the interior offensive line that needs to be better. You have bookend tackles, Rashawn Slater, Joe Alt, and you. But pressure inside was where the Houston Texans beat them in the playoffs. Right? They were stunts from their defensive ends inside, blowing up the interior offensive lineman, making Justin Herbert throw 4 interceptions. And then, yeah, sure, wide receiver, right? We have Lad McConkey, re-signed Mike Williams. We have Quentin Johnson, who is baby Mike Williams, who has not evolved yet. Uh, and then Josh Palmer's gone. Definitely do need, some sort of depth at wide receiver. I don't know about 22 overall, unless it's one of those like X receiver big guys similar to Roy
yeah,
McMillan. If he slides to 22, I would be very happy with the Chargers taking him. But it does kind of depend as far as taking a wide receiver at 22. It depends on like the size of the build because we've already got
right.
small, we've already got fast, we've got an old 50-50 getter, but um, it's got to fit in that system and it's got to be somebody that can
Catch
make
the
use
ball.
of definitely catch the ball, but make use of like different skills.
Yeah,
But yeah, through the line is what I'm hoping. I'm not sure exactly who the players are going to be in this area, but the as far as positions,
build those
defensive line,
trenches.
yeah, defensive tackle. Um, the defense had a really good statistical year, kind of cherry picking some stats there. First, I think in points allowed or yards allowed, one of those, and fewest points allowed. So the defense is already working, but bring in those freaking like system defining
Yeah,
players.
yeah.
Those like a Vince Wilfork freaking plugger in the like at defensive tackle and nose tackle, I think would freaking change the entire Chargers defense.
Yeah. I know you guys lost um Joey Bosa, so but you
Mm-hmm.
guys still have Chudy Tupurotu who slide over to that defensive spot, and I think once he starts full time, he's going to be just amazing out there, starting full time, and I expect him to be the starter full time this upcoming season.
That's that's what
But
I expect last season actually, right?
I mean,
Because
yeah, but I think they still had so much money invested in like Joey Bosa, just hoping that Tupulotu could play all over the line for the Chargers because he was so good at doing that. Like they played him at tackle sometimes. They had him sub in for both ends, both sides of the defense. So I mean, he did so much for them. Like I think that's what they wanted from him more is his versatility. But this year, I think they're going to need him to be more stable at the end spot for the Chargers.
So Thule has a great rookie year and filling in for Bosa and Mack as they're injured. And then last year, I'm like, okay, Bosa's still injured. Khalil Mack's still a beast, but old. So he's going to take it more spot starts, right? He's going to like one of the guys is going to rest this week. So he steps in for them. The problem is the Chargers signed Bud Dupree off of the Steelers last season, and he was in there. He took so many snaps this year. So I don't know what it was about the defensive coordinator or the coach that saw that Bud Dupree should be in there more than Thule was. But Bud Dupree is still on this team.
I
But
know they were
Bosa's
trying
gone.
to. They wanted that production that he had. Was it his first or second year in the league, where he was just like he would sack everything. Bud Dupree, that is like that's
Oh, okay.
yeah, because he had a pretty good season with Pittsburgh when he first got into the league, and like everybody was projecting him to make that next jump and be one of the top defensive ends in the league. But
I
yeah,
didn't like that because it was like the first season in a new defense
system, yeah,
with Jesse Minter coming in as the defensive coordinator for the Chargers, coming
yeah,
with Jim Harbaugh from Michigan. So I was like, oh, it's like you're the old regime's last second round pick.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
you're not one of my guys. And I was like, oh, is he falling out of favor with this new coaching staff? Uh, but he should play himself. Like it should be no question. He
Yeah,
should be outplaying Bud Dupree. Like
for sure.
sure, Khalil Mack is getting $17 million guaranteed this 1 year because he's gonna do what he does. Still, that's crazy. Is this year going to be the year? This has to be the year where Khalil Mack finally stops being Khalil
I,
Mack.
I
I hope
mean,
it's not, but it's been so long.
I mean,
Uh,
you're a Chargers fan, so I expect that. I feel like he.
yeah, we're gonna end up holding the bag. Uh, so this is going to be a big Thule year.
Yeah, I'm hoping
Is what
so.
I'm
I'm
thinking.
hoping so.
Because he's going to play himself ahead of Bud Dupree at least and be starting across from Khalil Mack,
Like he should have been last year. Yeah,
like he should have been last year. I wish I could ask some questions there.
definitely.
All right, and we'll find out what the Chargers do. I'm not super worried about it. I am very confident in the way this new regime, the Harbaugh, Joe Ortiz as the general manager combo have been
Started off
aligned.
pretty well. Yeah.
Yeah, aligned freaking schematically what they're thinking, how they want this team built and playing. And their freaking styles actually complement each other. It's hard nosed, it's getting good, low risk, high reward players and just maximizing those opportunities and situations. It feels uncursed, is what it feels like. I know, I just jinxed it. But yeah, I'm not worried about like people drafting for their jobs. I'm not worried about people coaching for like uh you know trying to win
Right.
to protect themselves and stuff like that. It's like
It
they're
feels
building
nothing like Brandon Stokely anymore.
Staley. Yeah, they're
Stay. See, that's how bad it was.
shout out to Brandon Stokely, the Colts wide receiver.
Who was had to leave the league because he got too many concussions. Well, he
Way
used
too many,
to,
way
him
too
and
much head trauma.
what's his name, Collie. Those guys used to get
Oh,
lit up.
Austin Collie, yeah.
Oh my gosh! And they both played for Indiana. They used to get lit up in the middle. Man,
All right, before we get to WrestleMania, we have another throwback for the NFL, which is former players that are going to be announcing picks at this draft. At first, it was weird to me that Green Bay had 7 former players, but it's in Green Bay, so I'm sure they're doing something crazy
something
or
stupid.
something special for them. Mason Crosby, Amon Green, James Jones, Hall of Famer Jerry Kramer, Hall of Famer Dave Robinson, Clay Matthews, and Jordy Nelson. Uh,
Man, it's funny because I think the Hall of Famers that you named from Green Bay, I think those are the only guys that you named that probably doesn't have a Super Bowl win.
Oh, these
And
new guys have it.
yeah, and everybody else, I think all the new guys have a win, a
Damn.
Super Bowl win.
Do you think they're doing one pick each, or do you think this is like a group project?
I don't think it's gonna be one pick for everybody. I think maybe they're gonna be grouped together, like maybe two groups. Uh, I don't know.
Who is the most successful or famous Green Bay Packer listed?
Clay Matthews, I think I would say.
Clay Matthews
Yeah.
from
SC baby,
USC. Arizona Cardinals have Patrick Peterson. He just retired as a Cardinal
just
this week.
retired as a Cardinal. I think
Uh,
that's fitting for him. That's good.
Atlanta Falcons have Keith Brooking, linebacker, Georgia Tech,
Georgia Tech,
1998.
he was good. White
Bruh.
boy, rangy. He can move.
The Baltimore Ravens have Jason Brown, North Carolina.
Oh, don't know him.
2005. The Buffalo Bills wide receiver Lee Evans
Wow, that's interesting.
is a wide receiver. Carolina Panthers Chuba Hubbard.
Bro, he's still in the league. What is that about?
Oh yeah, active player. All right. Bengals have Tim Crumry, sorry. Chicago Bears, Des White. Cleveland Browns, Joe Thomas, Hall of Famer, left
Oh,
tackle.
not also that, but also a big winner on the Rocks. What was it called? Warrior. His show that they did like Gladiators. Did you ever watch that
Oh, I am unfamiliar.
on NBC? What?
Recently?
The Rock hosted it. I think it was maybe about a couple years ago, but it was like
At
you
the
remember?
height of Young Rock NBC.
Yeah. You
Oh,
remember?
no, I
Same
missed that.
time. Oh yeah, it was called. I think it was called Warrior Gladiator, but they would do like kind of like American Gladiator, but like the challenges were a little like
A little
more
more mana.
fitness based. Yeah, they're like more fitness based. And I think Joe Thomas was like the winner for like the first 3 months of the show. Like it was a slim down Joe Thomas, like
Yeah.
super fit. Like man, he was killing on that show. You got to check those clips. Like try to find it. I'll try to send you. But yeah,
It's
it was a pretty good show.
it's crazy how much weight offensive linemen lose
Oh
once
man,
they
yeah,
retire.
exactly.
It's insane.
Because they have to start eating right and like they're linemen, so they probably didn't get that much money when they were playing.
The Dallas Cowboys, Travis Frederick, offensive lineman, right? Pretty
Yeah,
good, really good.
yeah, he
Uh,
was really good.
Denver Broncos, running back Monty Ball.
Oh wow, Wisconsin
Detroit Lions, current active player Terrion Arnold. Houston
cornerback, Alabama,
Houston Texans, Owen Daniels, tight end.
tight end.
Nice. Sorry, I'm getting a text. Jacksonville Jaguars have Eric Armstead,
Oh nice,
right? And TJ Slaughter. Is that a
wide
wrestler?
receiver.
Okay. Kansas City Chiefs, the joystick. Freaking Dante Hall.
I after he after he tore his Achilles in that practice going up against Nuke, and they have it. Have you seen that clip before? Where he's talking shit to Nuke, and then on the very next play in the
Who?
scrimmage between the Redskins and who was Nuke playing for at the time? The Texans, I think.
The Texans.
Man, he did like this.
D'Angelo Hall?
Yep. Yeah, he was trying to cover him, and just like I don't know, he did some, and then oh my bad, Dante Hall, two totally different dudes, but a very good clip though. They're brothers.
They're brothers.
They're brothers.
They're
The Hall
brothers.
brothers.
My
They're from
brother.
Hawaii.
Uh, okay. And then Dante Hall, the freaking return man. That was crazy. He was a wide receiver, but his special
Yeah,
teams clips are
that's all. Yeah,
insane, like
I think
Madden,
he's
like
next to um. Gosh, I can't believe I forgot his name. The great returner from Chicago,
Devin
best
Hester.
ever to do it. Yeah, Hester. He's like right next to Hester in like I think touchdowns, return for touchdowns.
The Washington Commanders have Gary Clark
Tight
from
end. Oh, wide
1984.
receiver, I guess.
Tennessee Titans have Keith
Yeah.
Bullock.
Fullback? The linebacker.
Linebacker, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Simeon Rice.
Ooh.
The Seahawks have Sean Alexander and Richard Sherman going to be making picks.
Every time I think about Sean Alexander, I think about elbow pads because he played with like these
Huge elbow
gigantic
pads.
elbow pads.
You think he was like hitting people, or that was just protected?
Hey, he ran like it. I don't
Like
know.
super high.
He was a good runner. I can tell you that.
San
Hard to
Francisco,
tackle.
Julian Peterson.
Man, see, Frisco used to have like really good linebackers, man. Peterson, Willis was there, Navarro. Gosh.
Navarro, yeah. Pittsburgh Steelers, Lynn Swan, Hall of Famer from USC, 1974.
He's all right.
Philadelphia Eagles, Bo Allen, Wisconsin, 2014.
Yep.
The Jets have John Abraham,
Defensive end.
who went to like Atlanta, right? Most of his
Yep.
career.
Yeah.
The Giants have Jason Sehorn. Damn.
Hey, one of the coldest white cornerbacks he's ever played. And
From
that's what he was.
USC.
Don't come for me. That's what he was recognized when he was playing. They ended up getting drafted by the Giants and was a really good defensive back with the Giants before injuries kind of caught up to him. But
There are so many people from Wisconsin here. New Orleans Saints will have Ryan Ramczyk. New England Patriots have James White.
the wide receiver.
James White, the running back, the like Super Bowl winning
Oh,
running back.
yeah.
Minnesota Vikings have Stu Voigt, and Miami Dolphins have Alec Ingold. Those last four are all from Wisconsin.
Is
And it's
Alec
like
Ingold still playing though? Is he active? Does it say
active.
active?
Yep.
Okay.
Active. And the Rams have Michael Brockers.
Ooh, big man.
Okay, so for the Chargers and the Raiders, these are the last two. Save these for us. The Chargers have running back Wisconsin, Melvin Gordon III.
Ooh, man.
First round pick in 2015.
He was so good for San Diego at the time. He was good.
This man was supposed to, okay, so just real quick, right? This is after LaDainian Tomlinson was this other running back named Ryan Matthews, right? And Ryan Matthews, electric at times, injured a lot.
Injured a lot. Yeah.
And then we got Melvin Gordon, running back out of Wisconsin. I think he had like 2,000 yards there. And he was the running back for us for a while. And then it did not work out. And this fool went and played running back for the Broncos. Like a bastard. So hurtful. So Melvin Gordon is going to announce a pick for the Chargers. Do you remember Melvin Gordon? When we had divisional games, were you worried about him? Is he somebody like...
Nah, yeah, like Melvin Gordon. He's all right. He was good in college. Yeah, this is another Charger running back that we're gonna take down. Poor kid.
Yeah. All right. And for the Raiders, the former player that's going to announce one of the draft pick, Steve Wisniewski, Penn State,
yeah.
second round pick in 1989.
One of the best linemen ever, interior lineman ever. And not just because he was a Raider. He was a really, really good interior lineman for a long time.
Okay.
The best.
The best. All right. There was a Fox documentary called Culture of Winning. Did you get to watch that? It just came out.
No, I haven't watched it yet.
I know.
I thought I got my time wrong. I thought it was gonna be this weekend.
It was supposedly this Sunday at like 11 Pacific or 2 Eastern, I think, 11 Pacific. But Easter Sunday,
Right.
The other stuff. So maybe we'll watch it this week and then come back and review it.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna watch it right after this to see if I can find it.
Okay, before we gotta wrap up, but latest news on former Tennessee quarterback Nico Iamaleava is that he is signing with the UCLA Bruins.
Yes, sir.
Back home, right from Long Beach. Now he's playing for
Yep.
UCLA.
Went to Downey.
What what do you think this means for him for the school? I mean, UCLA was what 5-9 last year, something like that, 5-6.
They weren't very good. I mean, again, nothing against Hawaii, my alma mater, but like in that game, Hawaii gave them rubs. Like that was a tough game for UCLA. And Hawaii's program has gotten better under Timmy Chang, but like when you used to say UCLA, like they were revered the same
Yeah.
way Georgia is these years, Alabama is now. That's how people thought about UCLA and USC back in the day.
Is
So
is is UCLA more a basketball school?
uh before they used to be even, like both programs
Oh, okay.
were striving. UCLA, of course, because number one, um, John Wooden at UCLA,
Right.
then they got guys like Lou Alcindor, who later became Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Uh,
But the football program was up there at one point.
Football game was they've got so many guys, like, and if you watch college football, and we're speaking mainly college football, like whatever they did in the NFL, what I mean, that has no barring on how great they were at UCLA. So number one, the current coach, I'm not saying these guys weren't great in the NFL, they didn't pan out like because they were balling in college. The current coach now for the UCLA Bruins, Sean Foster, he was a guy who played out there, was a great running back at UCLA. Man, uh, I watch a lot of college football, and growing up, or not even growing up, because I'm not too far away from his age. I might even be older by a few years, but you'd hear his name like on Saturday when UCLA played. You heard Deshaun Foster. Uh, they got guys like Ricky Manning was DB there. Josh Rosen recently of the quarterbacks.
Sorry.
Again, that's what I'm saying. So we say Josh Rosen and we think NFL. It's like, damn, he's like the cautionary tale of do your homework on the guys you're going to draft. One of those cautionary tales, because he was a number one quarterback in high school, signed with UCLA, had a pretty good maybe 2 seasons there, and then didn't do much in the NFL. Hence my referencing of careers not having to do anything with each other.
Like,
uh,
don't hate on the memory that you have now. Think about what
right,
they did while they
right.
were in
That's
there.
that's what I'm
What
trying to say, guys.
what I'm thinking for this team, we know that they haven't been bad. I mean, we know that they haven't been good. Not terrible, but
Not
even
terrible.
even the
Yeah,
coach is like, now that they're signing Nico, there's like a buzz in the building, right?
right,
He's like, when was
right.
the last time people talked about us? This is really good. We couldn't pass this up. And this, I think this is a great opportunity, right? This is a team that didn't do well statistically on paper. I don't know
Yep,
about on film, but uh, there's a lot of opportunity for Nico to like turn a lot of the trash talk and the drama from Tennessee, put it to bed, put it behind him by having a successful
right.
season and leading UCLA. If the team doesn't do well enough, he's gonna be the name that's like, oh, see, it's up to him. If they do
Right.
good,
Oh,
if
like
UCLA is like in the Big Ten, freaking, and talking like Big Ten championship because Nico's leading them to wins, everything else melts away. He's still the
yeah,
superstar. He's still up there, and he's also now a beacon back in his hometown.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, as a successful player and
I
everything.
mean,
So
the success is already like it's brought itself to UCLA already, because not but a couple of days after Nico was reported to sign with UCLA, had not officially signed it, had reported to be signing with UCLA. His brother Madden, who was at Arkansas, who originally verbally committed to UCLA coming out of high school, and then flipped his commitment last second, went over to Arkansas, enrolled early in December, but just a few days ago put his name into the transfer portal, and as of today will be signing with UCLA. So the Nico effect has already started to show at UCLA.
bring the
They got
brother in.
they got the
You think
five
that was
star
part of the
quarterback.
deal?
Uh, you know what? right now, that's probably
Bring my brother
like
here. Pay him
right,
too.
right. And look, this is the thing, guys. Like Nico, because people are going to talk about it. Nico did ask for four, or
His representatives.
the reports are that his camp asked for four, didn't give it to him. So now he's back at UCLA. He's not even getting what he was making already at UCLA, which is about, I want to say
Tennessee.
Tennessee, sorry, like 2.6, I think 2.6 million, something close to that, a little lower maybe, but he's making like less than half of that right now, like a mil something. But California also has some of the worst tax, uh,
Oh, income tax.
yeah, income tax for these guys. So I think at the end of everything, he'll be making, which is still a lot of money, probably close to like 900,000 this year, close to that, which is a far cry from what he was already making. Uh, and then I'm pretty sure his brother's deal isn't. It's not going to exceed Nico's. There's no way.
Oh,
But
it's just like a couple 100,000. No,
but for,
I think Cam. Oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I think Cam Newton said something about like, yo, this isn't the money, right? This is just to make college and your family
Yes,
comfortable
yes. While
until
you're
you
playing
get to where the money is,
real
which
money,
is
yeah,
the NFL.
yeah,
Uh, but thinking about is whatever. It's not about the money because the way
no,
and
that's
but
what I'm saying.
if he is thinking about how he can increase his revenues,
Right,
obviously you're in Hollywood. There's going to be a lot of freaking NIL opportunities. But
definitely.
the other thing is to be a good quarterback and show that on the
Yes,
field, right?
yes,
Because it's audition time. You got another year or two before you're getting called up for the draft for all the dissecting microscopes, the teams, the medicals. That's what we're aiming for. And I talked about this with Marcus. Uh, the This is gonna just be a blip. I think it's gonna blow over. It's gonna be a very small thing. Right now, where we're in it, it's like, oh, the first ever NIL holdout is a Samoan quarterback, and now people are trashing him, and it's getting like really crazy online. Now he's back. All he has to do is play quarterback, be himself, super talented, freaking go out there, win some games, have fun, freaking take it down to
definitely.
the Big Ten. Uh, and we're gonna see that. He's got to put the work in. Everything, but that money stuff is like this is not where the money
Yeah,
is.
yeah, he'll always be making his money back. But I think what right now the biggest winners are UCLA because you have your five-star quarterback, you know what I mean, coming into your school now, just probably one of the better quarterbacks in the country. And I know a lot of people are going to say they talk about his stats from last season at Tennessee. Yeah, he had some turnovers. Um, they did like they were struggling in some of the games, but if you watch the games, if you watch the film, and I
Yeah.
watched almost every game he played last season, he was the guy that was keeping them in it. Yes, they had a really good run game, but he was also part of that run game. That was by
Yeah.
design.
We
They
have
had a really
three
good.
three running touchdowns in the championship or in the
They
playoff
had
game.
two. He scored the only two touchdowns for Tennessee in the
Yeah.
game. You know, it was 42-17, and people were talking about him like,
I'll do
"Oh,
it myself.
that's yeah, exactly." And they were talking about like, "Oh, all they showed was his passing stats." Okay, he can't throw and catch everything. You know, he can throw it. The other guys still got to get its position. They got to get open. They got to catch it. But what he did do, he gave you two touchdowns in the game. So, uh,
Ex-
biggest winner at the moment, UCLA. They got a quarterback for now. They got a quarterback for later. Two really good quarterbacks. And guys,
Wait.
hey, they're good. They're good.
Uh, I'm gonna be rooting for the UCLA quarterback.
Definitely.
WrestleMania 41 was this weekend. All right.
He said, "All right."
All right. Roman Reigns betrayed by his wise man, who betrayed his best friend before that, siding now with frickin' Rollins, Seth frickin' Rollins. Great twist, by the way. I loved it. That was awesome.
Hey, you can't ever go wrong with a betrayal story in the
Well,
WWE.
it's obvious that CM Punk and Roman Reigns are like as over as all three of them are. Those two are like another like level of loved and cheered on.
Right.
So giving either of them a manager and Paul Heyman is like it's unfair, right? Now that you kick that over to Seth Rollins, it's like, oh, now he's gonna get the shine treatment. This is great. This is gonna be great. It brings down the tribal chief a little bit, you know. Now he's out there by himself. Everyone else has kind of moved on, done their own thing, and he's like doesn't even have his wise man anymore. CM Punk, it's like, okay, whatever. CM Punk got betrayed again. I feel like this happens all the time. They hate him. But he's the man. So wherever it goes from there. Actually, we know where it goes because I watched Monday Night Raw last night, the Raw after Mania, and
Of course you did.
CM Punk came out to beat up Seth Rollins. Roman Reigns came out to beat up Seth Rollins, and then as Roman Reigns was gonna spear Paul Heyman, I think he Superman punched him actually. Oh, Roman Reigns Superman punched Paul Heyman.
I love it.
But as he was about to hit him with a spear, former Intercontinental Champion Braun Breaker comes out and spears Roman Reigns, right? And then Seth Rollins comes up and he runs past Seth Rollins and he spears CM Punk. And then it's revealed that Paul Heyman and Seth freaking Rollins are starting a faction with the dog, Braun Breaker, who just lost his international title at WrestleMania in a fatal four-way match to Dirty Dominic Mysterio. Penta and Finn Balor were also there. But Roman Reigns, now weakened, now by himself. Where does he go from here? It's going to be crazy to see when he comes back. I think Backlash is the next.
I think it sets up a whole comeback story for Roman Reigns.
It's gotta. Yeah. I mean,
was he was like a villain for a little bit? Is he still like a villain now?
He's like a
anti-hero.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
but still kind of a dick. Like he's still like, I'm the tribal chief. You need to acknowledge him and like low-key worship me. But the way that he treated Paul Heyman, the way that they played it, was that he was like really emasculating him or like, making him look crappy in front of like his friend and everybody and making him do stuff like that, making him choose. So I don't know. This is exactly how you level each of those freaking bars, though, as far as Rollins, Reigns, and Punk.
Yeah.
You take Paul Heyman, betray both of these guys, end up with the third guy to rise him up. Main event, Jey Uso is the world heavyweight champion. This is the first match of WrestleMania. I don't know how to explain how upsetting that is. Like, this is the biggest freaking match. Gunther, he's the world heavyweight champion. Jey Uso won the Royal Rumble and the right to challenge this big bully from Austria. The guy like dominated him, beat him up, messed up his like confidence, everything, until he took it too far and beat up Jay's brother, twin Jimmy Uso. Shout out Big Jim. But seeing that this match was it was cool. He came out through the crowd. I didn't think he was going to come out through the crowd.
I saw that. Yeah.
That was dope. It's always freaking the whole crowd's doing it. I'm always surprised at how many people, like it's like 90% of the crowd. It's crazy, right?
I see the meme and dude was like, man, Jey Uso, he a blood for the Bay. There's no way he was losing.
Yeah, Jay comes out here, but the way that he wins, it's like he choked out Gunther. He hit him with the spear. I think he hit him with like a super kick. They went back and forth. Gunther cheated, right? Gunther hit Jay in the face with the title when the ref was down. But then Jay comes back, and not only does he like hit all his finishers and have the momentum to like get a pin, he instead hits him with like a rear naked choke, which Gunther has been using as his finisher, right? Even to Jimmy, while Jimmy was busted up right in front of Jay as Jay was zip tied to the ropes a couple weeks ago. Yeah, but he choked Gunther out, which was very surprising and not very appetizing, if I can say honestly. I was like, what? And also the way this fool Gunther came out, his face was like not imperial, like not like confident, crazy professional wrestler. It was more like he was a little sick. Like his face was just like not feeling well as he was walking down, and like he didn't even have his strut, right? It was like it was the like entire demeanor of someone who was told that they were about to lose their championship.
Someone took the pep out of step.
Someone was like, oh, by the way, you are dropping the title tonight in the first match of WrestleMania.
Oh man.
uh he didn't even sell it that hard, bro. Like it didn't even look like he was. Also, he's supposed to be a big ass strong guy. Why is he tapping out? I don't understand it. But Jey Uso gets the title. You know, Jimmy comes out there celebrating. It was
Are
great
you
to
saying
see.
that? Are you saying that Jay didn't deserve the title?
No, definitely deserves it, right?
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Definitely is so over. They put the title on him. Gunther did not look happy and didn't really sell it enough, honestly, for me.
Can
And
you
then
imagine, like, if Jay and Jimmy were like fob someone's like from back home, and then Jimmy lost? You can remember the conversation with Jimmy. Oye, calla, kid.
Jimmy.
Jimmy. Yeah, we'll fuss it up. Come on,
Yo,
come on.
I'm not. No, I'll talk to you about this last part later.
All right.
I want Jay to do good. Actually, Jimmy should be Jay's manager. Jimmy should be like his wise man, his older brother who's always get his like consigliere. Like he's always gonna take care of him, look out for him. And Jimmy's got like better mic skills, better interview kind of skills, and they're magic together always, right? They're brothers. Something that Jay mentioned in his post WrestleMania press conference is that someone asked him, he's like, "You're holding the title of some of the greatest names ever. Has it hit you that you're one of the greats?" He just shook his head. He's like, "I don't think I'm anywhere near any of that. Uh, all I wanted to do was win the tag titles with my twin." But you know, when other opportunities present yourself, you got to take advantage of them. But I was like, bro, I got choked up just thinking. He's like, bro, I just want to hang out with my best friend and have fun, making money, going out there, being positive, affecting positive change. And he was like, nah, I'm not on any of that level. But yeah, shout out to main event Jay. And then lastly, Jacob Fatu, the Samoan Werewolf.
Yeah.
This fool won the U.S. title from LA Knight, which I mean, obviously we're rooting for and even kind of half expecting, but it was crazy. That what a freaking match! The spots that they were doing, and the fact that Jacob is like a bigger guy, but also doing like flips off of the top rope and
acrobatic shit. Yeah,
it's very like a lot more athletic than you think someone his dimensions are. But this fool caught like a stunner off a moonsault. He ate a freaking cutter off of one of the moonsaults. It was I was like, bro, that's even LA Knight, I think it was in Friday Night SmackDown, he was like, it's obvious that Jacob Fatu is a star and he's going to be a champion one day, but I'm going to beat him at WrestleMania, yada, yada, yada. It's crazy how much respect Jacob's opponents have been giving him, right? Like even Braun Strowman is like, yeah, that's a strong SOB. Yes. It's like, bro, this is his first year though, right? He's not only in a WrestleMania match, the show of shows, he's winning. He's winning the title off of a megastar. So yeah, I'm interested to see where that goes, right? What are they? Is he going to have like a long title reign? Is this like something gearing up for a bigger spot?
Right.
I think WWE also did like a like reality show about their writing room and like how they're figuring everything out. I think it's like a year behind, but it's like a behind the scenes look into that. Uh,
That's
how
pretty
they
dope.
figure everything out, all the whiteboards, piecing it all
Yeah.
together. All right, thank you for indulging my wrestling.
No, it's dope. Hey, man, even that Jimmy J, man, that Jimmy becomes his manager, that could lead into like another storyline where it's Jimmy turns on Jay, you know?
Oh
And,
no,
you know what I
yeah,
mean? I'm
no,
saying, you know what I
I'm
mean?
I'm so worried about people turning on Jay just because like he's like, I mean,
A
it's
champion
at
now.
some point he's gonna
Yeah,
need some crazy
yeah,
drama for the stories,
yeah,
right? But it's like last night at Raw, Jimmy came out, Sami Zayn came out, his best friend, right? Well, I guess he's more Jimmy's best friend, but Sami Zayn came out and was like, "You did it, you deserve this." They eat it for a little bit, and then twin brother came out. I don't know where little brother was. Solo didn't come out and say nothing. I don't know if he was there. What's going on? Uh, but yeah, he had some of his friends. But now I'm like worried when that story turn is
yeah.
gonna come and if it's gonna be freaking Sami Zayn or we'll see.
Most likely, most
Uh,
likely. But I mean, it's good for wrestling. It's good for the man. You can call them the first family of wrestling. Honestly, all the fans, anomalies that they've had wrestle come through there. They still have the school going. So great to see. I remember when there was only four actual belts. You had the championship belt, intercontinental champion, and then
tag
the
team.
tag team. That was it. And now they've got all kind of belts. They've got the U.S.
Yeah.
championship, regular championship. They just yeah, there's so many different belts. So pretty cool to see
There's
the evolution of what was once the WWF, is now the WWE.
seeing like they're putting belts on people and just different they're using it
Right.
more as a tool to highlight certain people and then make
Yeah.
drama for the story. So
Yeah.
I'm liking it. I'm loving it. Want more of it. All right. Shout outs. Shout out to Levasa Island Apparel,
Hell yeah.
LevasaIslandApparel.com or on Instagram, LE_VASA. Um, man, Pie Fest. They did that Pie Fest collab. They got the Via Dolorosa markets coming up. Definitely check in on the Instagram for more information on that. Uh, shout out to the network, Polytickin Network. Support the Patreon. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on the socials. Any shout outs this week?
No, not really, man. You know what? Shout out to you guys, man. Good to see Polytickin Network back with new episodes. Can't wait to have Seth back on set with you guys. So yeah, man. It's just good to see everybody still doing. You know what I mean?
Amen.
Yeah.
Get into it. Thank you guys for tapping in. Good luck to all your football teams this weekend with the NFL draft. We will be back next week to spin the heck out of whatever happens this weekend in Green Bay. Uh, you guys are going to take a wide receiver.
Travis Hunter should be the
Oh,
biggest one.
let's go. Uh, yeah, have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks for listening. Stay hydrated, stay blessed, stay balling. Love and light. Peace.